Welcome everybody. Welcome to the filthy kitchen. I'm the Squadman, just getting ready to cook some steaks. Fun stuff. Everybody loves steak. Wow. If you don't love steak to eat, then you probably love the idea of steak. Some people might be in conflict over their love of steak, but the idea of steak is nutrients, keeping hunger away, being able to function, being able to repair and grow. Everybody loves that. So, what's the story? The story is I need to eat. I need to cook these steaks in order to sustain myself. Now, I've got some bacon grease here. I'm going to use it. I'm going to heat this up and cook my steaks in it. And while I'm doing that, first thing is I'm going to put some pepper on these steaks that I salted a few hours ago. Yeah, salt and pepper. Now, how goes this? So today, I did my 600 calories on the old bike. That's nice. It was tough. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to get on the bike, but I did. I got on it. Here's an idea for those of you like me who struggle with the idea of exercise. I've been exercising my whole life. So I'm used to forcing myself. But if you're not used to forcing yourself, if you kept a journal and realized that, you don't want to exercise, but after exercising, you're always glad you did. Like, say, what I'm saying is, before you exercise, if you make note of, I don't want to do this. And then after you exercise, you give yourself a grade and say, how was the workout? So-so, or hard, or terrible, or wonderful, or easier than I thought, or it was murder. Then ask yourself, am I glad I did it? Yes, very happy I did it. I got through it, I feel better, I got the benefits of it. I had to force myself, but that's life. The mind controls the body. And the mind wants to preserve calories. So we get back to this idea of steak. You may not like steak, but you like the idea of steak. And the idea is repair, energy, sustenance. If you want to have an omelet, you have to crack a few eggs. And if your eggs, in this case, are your thighs and your lazy lifestyle, well, that's what's got to be cracked. You need to control. The mind controls the body. The mind controls all. If you let the body take the reins, it's like there's two stories in history. There's one about the son of the sun. The god of the sun has a chariot that he uses to tow the sun across the sky every night, and it has 2 horses. And one horse is very obedient and wants to do the work, but he's not strong enough. He needs another horse. And the other horse is young and wild and wants to veer off the path and wants to do his own thing. But as the charioteer, you have to control these horses. You have to force these horses to do what you want, not do what the horse wants. So the God of the sun says to his son, different meaning of the word, excuse me, I'll get back to this story in a second. So he says to his son, who is half mortal, you can't take the chariot across the sky because you can't control these horses. And he complains and says, yes, I can. Anyway, I think eventually his father is asleep and he takes the horses. And of course, the horses are too strong for him. So the wild horse, he can't control, and the wild horse takes him all over creation and burns up the earth and destroys everything and ends up in the ocean. Because he couldn't control the wild horses, the wild horse. That's the moral of the story. You have to be strong. You have to, the mind versus the body. The strong horse, you don't have to worry about the horse that wants to do it, the orderly horse. But you have to be able to control the other one. The other story, which has been attributed to Native American folklore, but I'm sure I've heard it in other folklore as well, is that there's 2 wolves. You have 2 wolves. You have the wild, unruly wolf, the body, and you have the, stoic, easily, controllable, do the right thing wolf. And they say, well, which wolf is going to be in control? And the answer is the one you feed. The one you feed, the one you allow. In this case, feeding means giving into, letting have the control. It gets stronger. Practice makes perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect, but the one that you practice. I came across something interesting here the other day. It's about failure. Failing is a skill. What does this mean? The more you fail, the better you get at failing. The easier it is to make excuses, the easier it is to rationalize, the easier it is to fail in the future. The easier it is to give up, the easier it is to blame. I know some people who are like, my child is failing out of school, but we're going to try really hard to get her back on track or whatever. And this isn't just one friend. I'm not talking about one particular friend. I've heard this story a few times. But if the friend's daughter has already failed and learned to make these excuses, it gets way, way harder to get on the straight and narrow. Because they've already learned to make excuses. So it's 5 times harder, say. Well, they're not going to easily want to do 5 times the work if they weren't willing to do the normal amount of work. That's the problem. Time to flip. Anyway, this video is getting long. I had another point to make. I can't really remember what it is off the top of my head, sadly. But if I remember, I'll let you know. So anyway, this video is getting kind of long, so until next time, who loves the baby? This guy, don't forget it. And remember, somebody's favorite person out there, probably mine. So till next time, love you and goodbye.